um, well, I mean, what didn't? I think it was a legitimate team loss. I think everybody had their hand in it. I don't think it was intentional. I don't think people went through the motions during the week. It was a really, really good week of practice, I thought. But you had a lot of yards given up in a short amount of time. You had a shorter field position, and you had an offense that went 3 and out. That's literally the only way that could happen. And so yeah, we all get to share the blame in my opinion, or at least know the locker room felt 100% responsible. I think that's what you want. I think there's a lot of people that are going to be it's going to be tough to go to sleep tonight, including myself. So that's not something that you can do and expect to win football games, and you can't. It's a hard lesson, but no league is safe. I think that's one of the tougher parts about it. I know right now it doesn't feel anything but frustration and regret about what more you can do. I do know I have experience with it personally. The 2 most successful seasons that I've been a part of, around this week, we lost a game, and it's at the end of the season, you're in December. We've spent a lot of time together, and you don't have, you can do 1 or 2 things with a loss like this. For me personally, and just my belief in the individuals that I work with on a day-to-day basis, I would expect, whatever things haven't been done in the direction of trying to win football games collectively. I think the guys will rise to the occasion. I think you have to, because it's a humbling game, and you think that you're a good football team, but then each and every week you have to prove that on the field, and you can't take anything for granted. So you don't. Right now it feels terrible, but that's everything that we'll be trying to do moving forward, because they can be these types of losses can be very galvanizing, but it takes literally every person in the locker room and coaching staff, and you have to, as long as guys aren't pointing fingers, which I feel like there's a lot of people looking internally, you have that chance, and that's what we'll be spending our time doing. I think we'll find out more tomorrow. I honestly, there so much happened in that game from that point. I haven't even talked to the training staff about it as of yet, but I know it would take a lot to keep him out. So it's probably not the most positive. Well, that's a place that we've, that's where we've made a point to do a pretty good job down there, and we did not tonight. You could point that as the number one reason. There's several people in several phases that will say they're the number one reason, but you can point that as number one reason we didn't win the game. For me, you call plays for them to work, and they didn't. And then, so you're trying to play to the you're trying to play to the team when you're making decisions to go for it or not. A couple of those, we just lost a lot of points down there. In 2 particular instances, I think inside the 5. That's 8 points total there. We had a blocked field goal. We'd done out of character things to almost find a way to lose the game. The guys still fought, but you have to play a certain type of football to expect to win, and it's hard to get all the way down there and to come up with touchdowns is not something that we've had success this season. We haven't done that, so it will start with me, but I think the locker room will I always just look at it like we have really good players and we should be successful down there. So when we don't, I start with that, and then we'll go comb the tape and make sure that the certain things that kept us from getting in the end zone don't in the future.
Also with the offense, can you speak to the type of adjustment that it is when Tyreek Hill is out of the lineup for you guys?
It's a lot of there's a good amount of offense that goes through him. However, we have made a couple plays, and it wasn't the reason for the lack of first half or really first 3/4 points. I think there was just critical times that we would be off a hair on first or second down and put in a third down situation, and our protection wasn't exactly the what maybe we'd be used to on a play or two. Then there was a misfire on a play or two, and those things add up, But I didn't see it as we were obviously a player of Tyreek's caliber. It hurts when he's not in. However, I think there was plenty of offense to be had and got a lot of guys that I trust to do that. So I think that just bottom line, you have things like that happen in a game, you're gonna lose, and those are lessons that are learned usually one way, and that's the hard one. I think it had, kind of approached it like I usually do, and we passed the ball because we thought it was going to work, and it didn't, and that will always. That's not a big deal to me. That it's like part of inherently in the job. If you're going to get high fives for success, so that was definitely the wrong call because it didn't work, and you have to try to forecast as much as you can and do right by the team as best you can. I think, anytime we're that close to the end zone, we don't come up with a touchdown. I think that it will 100% of the time be second guessed, as it should be, because who am I? Am I above second guessing? It didn't work. So, that's the you better be tough in this business if you want to be in it, and I would expect nothing less. It was stuff didn't work. There was I'm gonna have to comb the film live. I think there was a couple communication issues on the back end, is what I saw. In terms of specifically the crossing routes, there was one big one to D-Hop that was pretty hurtful in the overall grand scheme of things. But it also you could easily say that that situation, the defense with a couple guys that got hurt within the game should have never been in that situation. So, and I know the defense specifically, multiple players and coaches came up to me and let me know that their feeling on how the into the game went, and that it's not acceptable to them, and that's how you want the team to look at it. You don't want people to sit there and be like, what 14-point lead, however long. Well, that you let people hang around and you let them off the hook when you're inside the 5 and you have 6 points as opposed to 14. It changes the math for sure. So we'll work to clean that up. I know that there's some very, very frustrated individuals on the defensive side of the ball, but and we'll look at the tape, but I'll hesitate to place all blame. This was as much of a team loss as you could have, in my opinion, before watching the tape.